So the season is nearly over. It's the Monday morning wrap-up from Forty20, the podcast which looks back on the weekend in the world of Rugby League. And we'll start in League One. May as well work our way up the pyramid. Oldham, they beat Doncaster 22-12. They go straight through to the League One promotion final. I don't know what it's officially called. And they will take on the winners of next week's match between Newcastle and Doncaster, which we saw last week. Doncaster won that one, and Newcastle beat Workington this week, 38-18, to book themselves a place in a match against Doncaster next week. Right, that's that cleared up. In the Championship, well, Featherstone pulled off the upset on Saturday. In terms of the seedings, anyway, the bookies had them favourites to beat York, and beat York they did, 30-4. Convincing performance from Rovers, 22-0 winners in the second half. Dane Chisholm starring, as did Callum McClellan. So Featherstone, no, they have to face a trip to either Toronto or Toulouse, and you'll be unsurprised to hear they're heading to the south of France. Well, I think that's where Toulouse is anyway, because Toronto won 40-24, showing no ill will. That's not the phrase, is it? After their week off, no rustiness perhaps, after their week off, and they will await the winners of Toulouse and Featherstone, who meet again next Sunday. Before I go on to Super League, final round of fixtures in the Women's Super League comes up next Sunday, but there was one catch-up game on Sunday afternoon. Featherstone Rovers edging out York City Knights 18-16, which leaves the league table like this. Castleford, having beaten York in midweek to secure the league leaders' shield, 13 wins from 13 games, they're on 26 points. St Helens on 23, Leeds on 19, Wigan on 13, so they're the top four secure. Castle will play Wigan in the semi-final, Saints will play Leeds. Featherstone up to 5th, following that victory, and it's Bradford, York and Wakefield. Big games next weekend, because York and Wakefield will be trying to avoid finishing with the wooden spoon. Wakefield travel to an in-form Featherstone Rovers. Bradford Bulls is the destination for the York City Knights. In the other matches, it's Leeds versus Wigan in a repeat of last year's grand final, and St Helens versus Castleford in what the seeding suggests will be a preview of this year's grand final. Super League, and we are getting closer to deciding who will be the champions of 2019. We know it won't be Warrington. It's not going to be their year because they were beaten by the Castlewood Tigers 14-12 on Thursday night in a cracking game at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. In a moment we'll hear from Darryl Powell, but first it's the last time we'll hear this season from Steve Price.
Yeah, disappointing the way we finished. I'm really proud of the the playing group and the season they've had to to go to Wembley and that game to beat the raging favourites in St Helens was phenomenal, and sort of really haven't recovered, to be honest, whether it's through tiredness or a bit of a hangover or what, I'm not quite sure, but there's some sore tired boys in there, and a lot of boys have been playing busted for a number of weeks now, and but yeah, we gave ourselves every chance tonight. We just weren't clinical enough, and from an offensive point of view, we just our decision making could have been better. But we created enough opportunities to win the game. But credit to Cass.
Blake Austin as well didn't come back out for the second half. They looked to be struggling a lot towards the end of the first. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, it looks like a medial ligament in the knee, but we created enough chances. We just our decision making, execution, especially in transition and good ball, needed to be better. And when you play finals football, you got to be at your best. And the last couple of weeks, we haven't been.
What is the medial recovery timescale?
I'm not sure. Depending on what grade it is, I'm not sure if it's what grade, whether it's a 1, 2 or whatever it is, but I'm not quite sure.
Do you think the performance tonight in attack was, a bit of a summation of the last 3 months and how it's gone for you?
Yes and no. There's been some really good offensive attacking plays, for over that last 10 to 12 weeks, and then we haven't been a little bit clunky at times, to be honest with you, Matt. But we had a team to go really deep into the finals this year, and just gut wrenching to finish on a note like that tonight.
Obviously, the Challenge Cup will always be remembered, and you've got something to remember the season by. But in terms of Super League, do you consider this season a failure?
No, I wouldn't say it was a failure. No, definitely not. We're running second for, nearly more than 3/4 of the season, and I think it was game 32 or 33 tonight, and I think we've used one of the least amount of plays throughout the season in the whole competition, and the boys haven't had a weekend off for over 2 years now. Throughout the season, they've played every competition game. Whether that caught up in the end, I'm not quite sure. But we've got a bit of thinking to do. But as I said, I'm really proud of the guys to put themselves in that position tonight.
With Blake, he got a lot of medical attention. Were the medical staff trying to take him off? Was he insisting that he wanted to stay on?
No, I'm not privy to that. It was just at half time he wasn't right, so we just made that switch, and then I thought the last 15 minutes we played some reasonable football. We moved Hughesy over to the left side, and Steph come on, and we looked quite threatening at times.
How about Jason Clark and Deck Patton never then came back on? Coming off.
Beg your pardon?
Jason Clark and Deck Patton.
Yeah, that was just a decision. I felt what was right for the time for the team, and I thought our middles were great tonight. They done everything they could, but it wasn't to be. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and you got to give credit to the opposition.
Steve, you reached 2 finals last year. You've reached 1 final this year, but you've managed to win it in your couple of years at Warrington. How would you assess your time here so far?
I don't like talk about what ifs. I'm really proud of the playing group, and I've got a fantastic coaching staff. I wouldn't want any different. And we work extremely hard to give them those opportunities to play on the big stage, and it wasn't to be tonight. And there's some wonderful teams going through at the moment, and St Helens and Wigan are playing some good footy. So, but yeah, as I said, I'm proud of all my players and coaching staff. You work extremely hard to put yourselves in this position, and wasn't to be tonight.
Steve, there seemed to be a bit of a query over Ratchford's penalty in the first half on the TV pictures. Did you have any? That was word to word.
Which one was that one? When it went over the sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was sitting, Gareth, I couldn't really see. Maybe we needed some higher sticks there. I'm not quite sure about getting the groundsman, but sometimes we've got to be better than that. We've got to defend better. We've got to attack better, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
Is there anything in the season, Steve? Like you said, you were second for so long. Was there a point where you thought, something changed? A game in particular, or an incident where form dropped off? How you finished fourth?
Sometimes when you're playing that amount of games, and you know that you're playing at Wembley, you focus on that. And sometimes players are looking at big picture as opposed to the little one, and then. There's a lot of players in our room who are playing busted at the moment, playing with a number of needles for a number of weeks, and whether it's fatigue, tiredness, I'm not quite sure. But we've got to look at things, including myself, on what I can do better, and we'll do that over the coming weeks.
Obviously delighted, just a huge effort from everybody. I think we believe we could win tonight. I'm not sure anybody else did. You look at the team, there's quite a few boys missing there. 3 from last week. I just thought it was a fantastic effort. Defensively, I thought we were superb, and I just thought our resilience. Because obviously for that to happen to us straight after half time, after we'd sort of been impregnable in the first half, was pretty tough. But I thought we held our nerve consistently across the game, and there's some big performances in there.
Including?
I thought Chris Clarkson was superb. I thought all our senior players, John Rankin at the back, he's been outstanding for a number of weeks now. And our senior players sort of asked for season best performances from our senior players, and I think they pretty much delivered that across the board. And then the young guys that were out there handled themselves pretty well. I thought they were great. I thought as a team we had a real courage and character about us. So yeah, overall just absolutely delighted. It gives us a shot at another week in the playoffs. and we've been like this for a few weeks now. So you know, back to the Hull game, and then we lose to Wigan, and then the week after that, a chance of not even being in the 5. So for us, we just we're just enjoying being in the playoffs, and we've got a chance to keep being the surprise package of it all, I think.
Carol, in terms of your side 2 years ago, I think you finished 10 points clear and very much the favourites. Obviously, you reached Old Trafford. Where would you put this Cast side in terms of being a lot more under the radar?
Yeah, I think I said leading into the playoffs that I think we're as well prepared as any team, including that one. I mean, we had some stuff that rattled us that year, so you know they're tough to they're tough to deal with. But I think we're defending better. You know, we're defending so well. I mean, we just turn up and you know we get a try from a kick and one on a shift after a charge down. Today, I just think we're turning up for each other, and when you've got that sort of commitment to defence and your scramble defence has got such a commitment about it. I mean, apart from the sort of second half, I thought we were poor against Wigan last week, but you know, defensively for the main part in that game, we were really tough and durable. We were against St Helens, we were against Hull. I think we have been for a big chunk of the back half of the season. So we're in a great place. I think there's a belief there that we can keep shocking people.
Can you get anyone back, Darryl? Is there anybody a chance to play next week that didn't tonight?
Not sure actually. I'm not sure. I think so. Mike McMeekin had a dead leg that kept him out. Jesse's obviously suspended. Nathan Massey's got a problem with his shoulder that I'm not sure. I don't think so actually.
You have to come up with a different plan then, or?
Well, we just come up with a plan. Whether it's different or not, I don't know. But you know, boys keep defending like that, then we'll give ourselves a chance. I thought we executed a little bit better when we needed to, and you've got to be prepared to win playoff games by that score we did tonight, or a bit less, I think. And we've got to be prepared to do that. Sometimes I think that's our issue. We're not prepared to do that, and when we were tonight, we were prepared to win. I think I said at half time, you've got to be prepared to win it 8-0, 6-0, whatever it is, 7-0. And I thought we had that attitude tonight. You know, they got a couple of tries on us, but that attitude is going to help us. And then you've just got to pick up tries. You pick up tries from kicks or from quality pieces of play, but you're not going to score 40 points in these games. And I think our headspace is in a much better place in that regard. In 2017, we were blowing teams away all over the place. You know, the team that we ended up losing to, we beat by 60 points. This year it's different. We're not like that. So I think our headspaces are a little bit clearer on what we need to do.
Darryl, you mentioned that not many people are tipping Casper to make the grand final, but I guess that doesn't really matter as long as you have got the belief in the players and the players believe in themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've spent all year trying to sort of believe, because we haven't been really great this year. You know, we've been so inconsistent up and down. We've had a lot of players injured, and we've been trying to nail combinations, and you know we've never done that all the way through the comp. We haven't been able to nail our combinations, but I think we've got to a point now where we actually believe we can defend, and that's you know the starting point, and then we work from there. Obviously I changed half-back pairing again this week, and I thought that worked for us. And I think we've got a belief that we can defend. If we've got a belief that we can defend and we keep applying ourselves from an attacking perspective, then we're a chance. If you can defend, you're a chance against anybody. If you can't, then you're a chance against the poorer teams, but not the better teams. And I thought from an attacking perspective, there are a couple of bits there that would be able to open up the better teams as they did tonight. So we're going to need that, and then we're going to need to keep defending and give ourselves a chance.
Castleford will like the underdogs tag. Obviously, the underdogs tag favoured Warrington in the Challenge Cup final. I bet you're hoping for more of the same on Castleford's front. Yeah,
there's no doubt we're going to get that, and I think we need to thrive off it. Yeah, I think just to harness what it stands for. I thought our supporters were great tonight. You know, I think turned out in numbers, and we gave them a performance to savour and to be proud of. And you know, they're a big part of why we do what we do, and you know, we're pretty connected to our fans, and I thought they were awesome tonight, and just the same as a team.
Whiting out, Castleford are through. and they will play Salford, who were edged out by Wigan in a cracking contest on Friday night. 18 points to a 12 Wigan win. They will play St Helens next week. Salford will host Castleford on Thursday night. Let's hear from the Salford coach, Ian Watson.
We know what they're about as a group, and that they turn up and compete really hard, and they've done that. Their effort was outstanding today. A great performance. I thought it was a great game, to be fair. It was a playoff game. That's what playoff games are like, and the won on, lost on, little errors and little moments in games, and that's what happened today.
Do you think you're unlucky not to get an 8-point try? Well,
yeah, there was a couple of things going on, but look, it is what it is at the moment. We can't change it now, can we? So that's something for obviously the officials to have a little look at and see what they thought from there.
What happened with Jackson and something in his eye? Or?
Oh, just off the ball. It was an incident off the ball where club again.
Did he hit him in the eye?
Yeah, he's kind of whacked his hand across him and he's caught him in the eye. So then he was struggling to kind of get vision at the end of the game, probably at the point when you want your half to kind of step up in kind of them big moments. But look, again, that's the one for the official. Tommy Lula was stood on the defensive line, was offside all day long, but wasn't pulled up. And as soon as we get one offside on a transition, pings us. So it's got to be both ways. But I just felt like it was a great game overall. Really proud of kind of our efforts as a group. We just need to learn to be smarter and understand what it takes in playoff football.
I guess the beauty of finishing third though, Ian, means you get a second bite to the cherry.
Yeah, it does now. So it's good that we finished third. We didn't speak about that all week. We spoke about this being the last ever game we was playing and we had to approach it like that. And I think the boys did as well, and they gave a real good effort. I think, like I say, there was just little bits of errors today that have cost us the game and little bits of smarts, but we'll learn from that and we'll go against Castleford now really confident as a team. Because I think that again, it's just belief. They've got to believe that they can beat these teams. They can beat a Wigan or beat a St Helens. So hopefully we can do a job against Castleford next week and get another bite of the cherry against Saints or Wigan.
Ian, Jackson's obviously joining Wigan, but he was your main man second half, wasn't he? The way he sort of orchestrated the attack, scored a try, and couldn't follow his commitment.
Yeah, no, Jacko's been a great player for us all year. He's going to be a difficult. Well, you're probably not going to replace a player like Jacko. Jacko's an NRL player. He's a quality kid and he understands how to play the game of rugby league as well. And there's certain bits that he'll tell you that he needs to get better at and kind of mature on the field with certain things that he gets faced in game situations. But he's growing and he's learning as a young kid, and he's going to be a great player.
So does that put confidence into you, that performance going into the Cas game next week?
100% it does. 100% does it. We've come here to Wigan now, where Wigan are probably the form team along with ourselves at this moment in time, and they've been beating everybody and beating teams kind of convincingly, been really physical and dominant with them. I think it's fair to say we probably lost the game today on the back of our errors, probably that playoff football knowledge that we just needed to be better at. I think if we tidied them areas up, we win the game.
You know, how big with the fans today? The points tonight sounded like it was a home game.
Yeah, they was outstanding, mate. They were really good. I mean, our away support's been good all year. We've had a decent away support. But if we can get that and more at the AJ Bell next week, where we can pat the AJ Bell out, cheer us on to a win against Castleford, and then again we get another bite at kind of Wigan or St Helens.
What's the plan for next week? Is it obviously get fired up for the Cas game, or are you giving players a couple of days off rest?
Oh, they're going to need a couple of days. We've got quite a few knocks there, so what we're going to do is we're probably going to do a little bit of a home recovery this week, so we're not having to drag players in and from every area, make sure that they do something in their own town, do that recovery probably together, and then they'll just send it in to us, and then we'll come in Monday and we'll look at Castleford.
That game was live on TalkSport 2, and their commentary team, Mark Wilson and Paul Cook, summarised things and the whole of the week up to date after the match.
We're lucky. We get to watch a lot of rugby league. That was one of the best games we've seen for a long time, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Closeness of the game, intensity, endeavour and effort from both teams. Salford will take plenty of plaudits, but Wigan have ground out a result and gone on to meet St Helens in a potential grand final. So yeah, great game of rugby. We're breathless and took some calling, Mark, and I thought it was just one of the playoff games that you expect, and no blowout score, bodies on the line, players doing things that are abnormal to us now, and we get to sit and watch it for free and live.
A lot of people criticise Super League, they criticise rugby league in general. That was a game that showed the sport that we all love, wasn't it? It was quick, there were big hits, there was great skill, it had everything.
Yeah, a bit of sportsmanship, a bit of grit, determination, doggedness from both teams, really physical and aggressive with each other, demanding of each other as teammates. I just thought it was a great game of rugby league, and could have gone either way right up until the last few minutes when Salford was still attacking the Wigan line. So, trying to get it into golden point, and it's everything you want from playoffs. If you want to see a playoff game, get along to them and witness live how tough it can be out there. The closer you sit, the more you'll hear, and just a wonderful game. And as I said, we're very fortunate we get to sit and watch it live and get to call on it.
Daniel says it was a better game than the one he watched last night. He's a Warrington fan, obviously disappointing for him, but I think if we'd have seen that as a grand final, Paul, no one could have complained.
I don't think so at all. We roll on to next week, and rather than lauding what we've seen in front of us, we're very much looking forward to the next two games. And can Castleford beat Salford at Salford and march on? Will Wigan be the first team to defeat St Helens in 2019 at the totally wicked stadium? But we should pay homage and be in awe of what we've just seen from the players out there tonight. Sam Powell looks a broken man, played probably 20 minutes with whatever he's done to his wrist. That should be lauded. Some of the skill on shore, the bodies on the line stuff, just breathtaking. As I said, it's just, you sit back, fold your arms and just enjoy what you're watching in front of you. And it might not seem like a classic, but unless you're here and you understand it and you witness it and you hear it, you hear the collisions, I think just a wonderful game, and I'm very fortunate to have been at it.
Right, let's have a look at what happened on the field then.
Yeah.
Wigan in front, Gildart with the early try, lovely bit of play from him and George Williams to set up that, and then right on half time, Griffin, wonderfully disguised pass from Lussick, gets Salford level. Should Wigan have had a second try? They had one ruled out for an obstruction.
I thought so. The skill from Gildart's great. Before he catches the football, he's beating Chris Pelham. He scores in the corner. A poor miss from Chris, and he'll tell you that himself. The pass from Lussick's really well disguised, isn't it? Everybody thinks Hastings, including Willie Icer, who leaves Zach Hardacre. Great bit of skill. I think it should be 12-6. I think it should be 12-0 before it's 12-6 or 6-6, so I think it's a try. I think O'Loughlin slows the play down, but the big error is Christian Innes after half time. He finds an offload, it's unhandleable, isn't it, from Bibby who knocks it on, and maybe a little bit fortunate Lulawai with his put down, but that puts Wigan 6 in front, and then another try puts them 12 in front. And it's always difficult to come from 12 points behind, but Salford gave it a real go. Wonderful skill from Jackson Hastings, and if you're going to pay money to watch a player, then pay it to watch Jackson Hastings, because what he does, he beats Farrell, and that's an international back rower. He goes under the post, having stepped the ex-England full-back in Zach Hardacre, and scores a try under the post, puts Salford within 6. So some great bits of skill, as I said, and unless you're here and you witness it and you see it, it's such a difficult skill when you see it live. It's been a great game.
It has. Apologies for my camera work, by the way. I'm having to hold this by hand. You should be doing this. You're a muscle. You'd be able to do it better than I. But never mind. I forgot some of my bits. Right, Wigan go to St Helens next weekend. Salford have got to pick themselves up before they're at home to Castleford. We'll start off with the league leaders, St Helens. We know no love lost between them and Wigan. Who is going to have the week after off? Who's going to win that big clash?
St Helens have not lost at home all season. They've beaten Wigan every time they've played them this season.
Yeah.
So Wigan will probably win, but I'll still back St Helens because I just think they're a great team, at home particularly. Weekend off's really important. I think they've had time to recuperate, recharge, rest, be ready. The only thing that's gone against them tonight is not going into Golden Point. So I expect St Helens to be firing, but I expect it to be a fiery game because of the derby and what is at stake moving forward to Old Trafford. The winner gets another weekend off, doesn't he? And that could be Wigan. It could be Wigan.
Could be. They are the champions. We're about to the game then. Castleford beat Warrington last night. They are through. Darryl Powell says they're in the mood to keep upsetting. Can they upset the odds? Salford will be favourites next week.
I don't think Cass can win the grand final. I don't think they can play 4 games in 10s to win a grand final. I think they can win next week. They have a big chance of winning next week, and I think the big chance for them is they're not expected to win next week. They wasn't expected to win last night. They won't be expected to beat Salford. If they win that, they won't be expected to beat St Helens or Wigan or St Helens. So that can go a long way into creating a sanctuary of inner belief for your team. And I think what's really important, what Darryl said, is we're ready. doesn't matter where they go, because they still didn't know the outcome of tonight's game, but they're ready, and that's really important to concentrate on yourselves as well. There'll certainly be some homework done in the next 6 days before they do play Salford, but they're not expected to win any games now, and not expected to go to Old Trafford, and that can upset everybody. But what it can do is create a real belief inside your camp.
And well done to Castleford as well, by the way,
Yeah.
putting on 700 free seats on the old bus for fans wanting to go now to the AJ Bell. That's a good move from them, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because it goes a long way, doesn't it? We saw tonight plenty of Salford fans here. The noise they made to our left-hand side, more so than the Wigan fans, because they was expected to win. I think there'll be plenty of Castleford players, supporters in Manchester next weekend, or next Thursday night, and you wouldn't back against them upsetting the odds. I think they can go there and win. I think they will go there and win. I think it'll be tough for Salford to get in.
Well, Martin disagrees. He says Salford to beat Cass, Saints to beat Wigan, Wigan to beat Salford, then we'll beat Saints at Old Trafford.
Wow.
Wigan to win the grand
That's
final.
a big
He
call.
says.
You stick a pound on it.
Yeah, why not? Please gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
Make sure you can afford to lose that pound before you put it on. We have seen one of the great games tonight. Ian Watson further enhances his reputation. We saw it straight from the kick-off, Paul. They came and tried to play. Is that what they're going to have to do to beat Cass next week?
Well, they defended well too, I thought. I think they've given one away, haven't they? They've given one away. To keep Wigan to 18, giving one away keeps them to 12. It'd have been 12-12. They've manufactured their 2 tries with some good play, individually, and Lussig's disguise have passed, so I think they're defending okay. But I do think Salford attack better than they defend. They've thrown plenty at Wigan again tonight. Wigan just defend really well. You wouldn't think that Salford will defend the way to a grand final or defend the way to wins against Castleford next week and then Wigan or Saints. So I think they've got to come and play with shape and attack, and that's what Salford do really well.
Jill said, so if Saints win, does that mean poor Salford have to play Wigan if they beat Cass?
Yes.
Seems a bit stacked against Salford. Well, they finished
higher
third.
in the league. Yeah.
They'd have finished second. They would have played Wigan at home.
Yeah.
So that's the nature. The playoffs work, don't they, in this 5?
I agree. I think the top team deserve the week off. I think the next 2 deserve a second chance, and the last 2 are in knockout football, and the 7 below them, unfortunately, they've got to try and get in the following year. So I think it rewards the most consistent teams, and that can only be a good thing because it gives you something to play for every round, doesn't it?
Questions will be asked about St Helens. They didn't win at Wembley.
Yeah.
Some people would say they bottled it. They didn't win.
Yeah.
And they need to win a big game.
We lost the semi-final in a similar fashion, didn't we, the year before against Catalan, which then destroyed their league campaign afterwards when everybody got more aggressive with their team. So until you win a big one, you'll always be bottlers, won't you? Until you win one of the big games, until you win one of the big trophies. League leaders just isn't good enough for rugby league, and that's unfortunate. It's just the way it is, and if they go on to win at Old Trafford, then they will go from contenders, if you like, to winners, and from bottlers to popping champagne corks.
If I give you a free £10 bet now to win the grand final, who would you put it on?
I'd put it on Saints. I'd put it on Saints to win one. You can't keep losing big games. If you want to give me an outside bet, I'd pick Salford as an outside bet.
You think Salford can potentially come here and win in 2 weeks?
I do. I think they'll learn a lot from tonight. The difficulty will be next week for me, for Salford, because next week, in effect, you called it in commentary, was this a free hit? Next week's not a free hit. The following week's then not a free hit, because it's a knockout game. There's no free hits in knockout games, but tonight puts a yardstick down, if you like, where this is what we've got to do better to win next week. And if we come back here in 2 weeks' time or go to St Helens, we've got to learn lessons from tonight. You can't make the error Inu makes. You can't miss the tackle
That was the game-defining moment.
It was a big moment in the game. Yeah. Listen, nobody should blame the boy. He does some wonderful things.
It was a defining moment in the game.
It just changes the momentum of the game and the mindset of both sets of players and supporters. So it is a big moment in the game. But them lessons have to be learned within 6 days, which is the difficult one for this week for Ian Watson and his staff. But if they do come back here in 2 weeks' time, they've got to improve them areas.
Dawn, who is a Wigan fan, says any team can lose a game. Don't like the term bottlers.
Yeah, I don't.
You won't be saying that, Don. Surely, if we can beat St Helens at the grand final,
or next week.
Yeah,
or next week. So. I don't think the bottle...
Is it hard? I don't it's all right. You said until they win a big game. They're a team that doesn't win big games.
Yeah. You go from pretenders to contenders to winners, and they've not won anything yet. The pretenders and contenders. The contenders for trophies, they've played in the big games, they've just not won one yet. And until you win one, you're not considered
People
to be
always
that
ask
team.
the question.
Well, look, they'll be compared to the 2006 team that lost 4 games all season but won the grand final. And let's not talk about that now.
Best not. We best not. Might get up. Still, you're not going to cry on the way
I'm not
going to cry.
No,
I
enjoy
like
tonight.
Snowy, he never won any final.
Enjoy
At least
tonight.
you won a final. That's a big one.
You got one.
Yeah. Would you rather win the Challenge Cup or the Yorkshire Cup?
4020 Live back from 6 p.m. tonight, covering the whole weekend in Rugby League on and off the field. There's always something to talk about, and we've got a brand new feature in that bit at 7 o'clock where we fill in the results from around the world, and we truly mean around the world. Stay tuned for that from 6.